6 dog day garden hacks that'll break the summer slump. Yep, it's definitely Groundhog days out here. The dog days of summer can be brutal on both the gardener and the garden, but they don't have to be a losing battle. From pest control to succession planting to late summer harvest. Here are 6 ways I keep production up and morale high. We've been under heat advisories for the last 3 weeks. Today is no exception. Heat index is supposed to top out past 115. The actual temperature, almost 100. I guess that's some saving grace, but that allows me to come out here and play whack-a-mole with Chubby. Chubby now thinks our garden is his buffet. And my fence is just cobbled together, but he found a weakness in the chicken wire. He dug a hole there, so I reinforced it. He came back and dug this board out that I had up against there earlier. Once I had this reinforced, he just moved on down. So he moved right on down here. He found another hole. I've reinforced that. But if you look at this gravel, he's been out here trying to dig back in there. But when I fixed that hole, I went ahead and reinforced. I had some of this other wire laying around. By the looks of these leaves, he's been exploring every inch of this way. Well, we'll either keep him out or we'll turn this into Fort Knox. Our second hack is succession planting. And as the first round starts dying back, which is normal, especially as the heat kicks in, your squash, your cucumbers. The succession plan was actually designed for when the first crops start fading, the second crops start kicking in. You can do this too. And speaking of you know what today is? Today is Saturday. And you know what we do on Saturday? We go to you and we celebrate what's going on in your garden. And we've got some new contributors, and I'm very excited to introduce them. Stephanie is a new contributor from southern Oklahoma. Even in the heat of Oklahoma, her garden is producing beautifully. That is a nice haul. Welcome and thank you for the inspiration. Christina and Jason are in Zone 8, Washington. They wanted to show their documentation of their first year of deep mulch, mixed mulch gardening. This is how they started. Layered on the mulch, got a few things growing. They started kicking in. They took to that mulch and just look at that garden. Jason, your hard work just shows through. Thank you for the inspiration, the ideas, and the motivation. Wasn't that incredible? Now I invite you to become a member of this group. There is no obligation. Doesn't cost anything. You just send in a photo now and again and let us celebrate what's going on in your garden. After all, this is where we get ideas, inspiration, and I get the motivation to come out here on a 105 heat index day and show you just what's possible in a deep mulch garden. Number 3 on our list that keeps us productive is knowing that it will get hot and planting accordingly. Now our okra here, it doesn't even know that the sun's out. This is a little guy. He'll be well over my head by the time the frost comes, and he's just now kicking in. But they love the heat. Full exposure sunshine. Along with our sweet potatoes, which are thriving in this heat, despite Chubby coming out here and nibbling on them. And our number 4 hack, the way we stay productive in this kind of heat. Not only did we succession plant our cucumbers, we have a heavy layer of mixed mulch. And here's 2 benefits of that mixed mulch. 1, it moderates the soil temperature. It keeps the roots nice and cool. I've come out here with the thermometer on days like today where it's this hot and the ground's running about 78, 79 degrees. It also helps retain the moisture. And in this kind of heat with the wind blowing, it just sucks it right out of the earth. And if the leaves wilt a little bit, they're going to pop right back up as soon as the sun moves. They're just protecting themselves from respirating too much water. The next thing that keeps us productive in the groundhog days of summer, succession planting. We've already kind of talked about why we succession plant. But here, our beets, we only got those in the ground 10 days ago. And they're already making their first true leaves. You can do this too. Now before we move on to our final hack, look at that, we've got 2 turmerics that are blooming. That is fantastic. But we got a couple more contributors. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of our friends of this channel and how they're beating the heat in their garden. Bruce wanted to follow up on his tutorial about walking onions. So I'm gonna let him speak for this.
Good morning, everybody. This is Bruce at Orlando Food Forest, and here we are looking at a few items that we picked this morning. We have 2 nice okra, 2 more mangoes that were ready, and some of our Egyptian walking onions are ready. You can see how some of them already have not only roots, but here's one of the clusters that fell and hit the ground and already started to root in. And here's a smaller one, you can see the roots started. Here's a few more with the roots started on them. And here you can see one drying up on the stem. And you can see exactly how they grow on the top of that stem. There's one right there for you to see. And it's a little sunny out. Hopefully you can see all this. This is our Egyptian walking onions that we planted individual plants in the actually last fall. And as you can see, the clusters, how they're clustering out. Some of these have 5, some have 6, some have 3. They're all different. So not only will you get an endless supply of green onions, but these will keep multiplying from underneath. Here are the Egyptian walking onions that we transplanted a few months back. They're doing very well. They're coming up just fine. And by next year, they should start reproducing and splitting up into multiple onions. God bless. Thank you once again. This is Bruce, the Orlando Food Forest.
Walter's garden is in the throes of summer for sure. His tomatoes are actually coming on while his cucumbers are starting to fade. But that didn't stop him from getting one last final harvest, and Walter's cooling off in the kitchen with hot and spicy. Walter's truly inspiring to know how much you got out of that small area. Thank you. We look forward to your pepper harvest. Art's banana is flowering and standing sentinel over his deep mulch garden. He doesn't have a lot in there, but his peppers and his eggplants are kicking in nicely in this heat. Art wanted us to know a little mulch goes a long way. As Larry's container garden is winding down for the summer, he's got a nice little pollinator to help out with the okra. And that okra has been filling that dinner table every night. Larry, this looks delicious. Thank you for the motivation. Aren't the contributors to this channel just awesome? Hit that like button. That'll tell YouTube to push this out to more people that might want to learn how to garden. And if you want to learn a little bit more about the mixed mulch, deep mulch system and why it works so well, especially in this kind of heat, I did write a book. There's a link somewhere down there and you wouldn't hurt my feelings if you picked up a copy of it. Or go back to old episodes and I'll explain the whole thing for you. But there's also shiny objects. Check this out. Oh my God. And number 6, just remember, the hardest work you're ever going to do in the deep mulch garden is harvest. Armenian cucumber, little guy.
Oh man.
And when your garden is a chaos garden like mine, they hide pretty well. Now that's not too bad. I think we're gonna have cucumber salad for dinner tonight. And I got one here and one there, they're coming on. So this has been the year for cucumbers. And where this may not have been the very best year for tomatoes, we're still getting a respectable amount. And the beans haven't even started to really come on yet. So I really do say the hardest work you ever do in a mixed mulch garden is harvest. You gotta remember, the garden is a long game. And these 6 ideas that keep us productive and beat the summer slump, some of them we had to think about early on. The succession planting, the deep mulch, but they all pay dividends. You can do this too. So much okra out here. And until next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.